number 98 of Saturday Talk series by JanyuTech. Today we are pleased to have once again Dr. Seshadri Chari ji, who is going to speak on the turmoil in Middle East. A little brief introduction of Chari sir. He's an author, strategist, and foreign policy analyst. Currently, he is also Secretary General Forum for Integrated National Security, that is FINS, and member of Governing Council Research and Information System, that is RIS. He is also associated with various universities, that is University of Mumbai, University of Pune, University of Goa, as a representative of governor, as well as with the Manipal Institute of Technology.
Thank you, Rajesh. I'm so glad to be again with all of you. Only 2 or 3 corrections. Yes, I have written a book, but I'm not an expert on the subject. So what I'm going to tell you today is almost not very different from what is there on the public domain already. But of course, I've written an article also on this issue, and I've given some 1 or 2 interviews in the last 1 or 2 days. So I'll put forth my views all along. All those who are listening, and I know there are very senior people also there so if I'm wrong somewhere, I'm always open to correction. The most important thing that we should begin with is the complexity of the issue that we are discussing. Now, this is not Israel-Hamas issue. We are all seeing in the newspapers also, people are writing like Israel-Hamas conflict. It is not Israel-Hamas conflict. We should remember that. It is a Israel-Palestine issue. Not even a conflict, it's basically an Israel-Palestine issue. Now, what has happened in the recent past, say in the last 1 week, 10 days is Hamas attacked Israel. Now, the attack was very brutal, very savage attack. More than 600-700 people killed on the spot, and they have taken almost an equal number of hostages also. So the exact number of hostages we do not know really now. The estimate is that about 500 to 600 people are there. It could be less, it could be more. Number of children are hostages. Number of women are hostages. So if you look at the composition of hostages, it's very clear that all terrorist organizations are more or less, they do the same thing. The one thing is, what is the difference between a war and a terrorist attack? In a war also, country A attacks country B. Now, Russia attacked Ukraine, and it is a war. It is not terrorist attack. Why? Because a number of people who were looking at the international situation knew that Russia is going to mount an attack on Ukraine someday or the other. Is preparing. So many things we know. In the case of a terrorist attack, there is always an element of surprise. So terrorists don't come and inform you that we are going to attack. Look, be careful, we are going to attack. No, they will never do that. So terrorist attacks are always cowardly, brutal, savage, and comes at a most unexpected time, place, and area. 1. 2, they always tend to take hostages. Why they take hostages? Because they want to use hostages as a pawn in negotiations. We will come to the negotiating part later. So, number 3, we all know, the whole world knows that Hamas is a terrorist organization. Now, we go back into history. Now, what has happened is, Israel is a fairly, very old people, ancient tribes with a modern state. The advent of Israel as a country, as we see it today, came into existence in 1948. But before 1948, what was Israel? Israel was a set of people without a land. So for almost 2000 years, the people of Israel, what we call the Jews of Israel, were stateless. They were there almost in so many places, so many countries. The tribe got disintegrated. And they believed that 2000 years back, this was a promised land, and the Bible promises, that is the Torah, their religious book promises that there are 7 tribes, and these 7 tribes put together forms the Jewish community, and this Jewish community is what is going to be the rulers of a place called Israel, which they called chosen land. So they believe that God has given them a land, God has given them a social bonding, God has given them a method of worship, a religion, and therefore they should live there. So, uh, this whole history of Jewish existence goes back to the uh, period of pre-Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ himself was a Jew, a person from Jewish community. There were, they always say, no, there are two very famous Jews, and both of them uh, have promised to come back in different forms. One is Jesus Christ and one is Karl Marx. So people always say, we don't mind Jesus Christ coming back, but not Karl Marx. That's what people generally joke. So the Jewish community thus has links to pre-Christian era. So therefore they believe that they are one of the oldest tribes, and the land that they claim as theirs is their own land. But they were all over the world, they were not united. The land was taken away from them. Now, how the land was taken away from them is a very important story. So, I can give you, I can go back. Now, I'm going to go back to my book a little bit, because it's very difficult for a person like me to remember the entire chronology. But people say that they always compare between Israel, state of Israel and state of Palestine. There is nothing called state of Palestine. It's only what we call the Palestinian Authority. So we have what we call the Palestinian Authority. It is not a state yet. Anyone who attacks survival, anyone who hits at Israel, anyone who wants Israel to be finished, anyone who attacks Israel from the viewpoint of finishing it, challenges its survivability, will be punished so badly that he will again never think in terms of attacking Israel. And that is the mistake Hamas has done. Now, Hamas is not a state. Hamas is not a political party. Hamas is not a recognized organization. Hamas is a group of people. It has been declared as a terrorist organization by Israel. It has been declared as a terrorist organization by a number of other Western countries. So we should remember that Hamas is not state. Therefore, those who say that instead of attacking Gaza, you should talk to Hamas, negotiate with Hamas. No, I will come to the part a little later. Now, Hamas, what happened was, before Hamas, there were so many other organizations. There was one organization called Janjaweed, and then Intifida, and so many other organizations were there. They all were attacking Israel from time to time, from here and there, from Golan Heights, from Gaza Strip. But it went on. In 2006, there was a election in Gaza Strip. Now, Gaza Strip is one place where the majority of the Palestinians went and settled. So it is called Palestinian settlement. Gaza Strip does not belong to Palestine. There is no finality as far as Gaza Strip is concerned. So Palestinians have gone and started staying there. As against Palestinians, a number of Israelis also, Jews also went and stayed there. So the Gaza Strip area, there are Jews and there are Palestinians also. Gradually, they realized that Jews and Palestinians cannot stay together, so they segregated the area a little bit. So the Jews became sort of a ghetto community. The Palestinians also became sort of a ghetto community. So this is how the Gaza Strip is. So it's quite a complex area. And in 2006, there was election. And those who wanted a separate Palestinian state, who were working for Palestine, what they did, they contested election. And most of the candidates who wanted Palestine, who wanted to have a dialogue with Israel, lost election. And there was a group of very rich people, we don't know from where they got money, they fielded independent candidates. And most of them won the election in 2006. Later on, they came to know that all these people were supported by an organization called Hamas. So when they all won the election, all of them became policymakers, and the government or the local area came under their control. That is how Hamas took the political control. Listen very carefully. Gaza Strip does not belong to Hamas. Gaza Strip does not belong to Palestine. Hamas is not a political party even today, but they took control of the area called the Gaza Strip. Plus, we should not also forget that Iran has got very good nuclear capability also. So with nuclear capability and with an organization like Hamas to help it, Iran has all advantages of attacking Israel, sending out terrorists into Israel, threatening them, but at the same time not directly get involved in the war. So from 2014, after a crushing defeat, the Hamas started to regroup itself. And then Hamas also sent its people to all other places in the world so that it will have some sort of a sympathy. But it did not work. Most of the Western countries did not help. Most of the Arab countries are not directly willing to help Hamas because they are pro Shia. And Iran does not have the kind of countries that otherwise would be able to support Hamas. There are very few Shia countries. Therefore, Hamas did not get the kind of help that they require. So it all boiled down to Iran helping Hamas. So in this case, if Iran also stops helping Hamas, it will be left with no money, it will be left with no face, it will be left with no people to support, and it will have no weapons also. So this kind of a situation can arise in a few days. It's not a few years or months, it's a question of few days. So if this particular conflict keeps on escalating for say another week or 10 days, it is possible that Hamas will lose out on its money, Hamas will lose out on its strength, Hamas will lose out on its political capital and also the weapons, and also it will lose its existence. So I think by attacking Israel and the two mounting a brutal attack on Israel, Hamas has made one of the worst mistakes in its existence. And in any case, a terrorist organization like Hamas has no reason to exist. And it has also done one very bad thing, that is, hurt the Palestinian cause. Palestinians, as a set of people, have every legitimate right to have their own land, live somewhere peacefully, coexist with others. But if they are not ready to coexist with others, if they want conflict, and if they continue to support terrorist organizations like Intifada or Fidain groups and Hamas, this is the price that they will have to ultimately pay. There are a number of countries which solely depend on non-state actors and terrorists to bail them out in the case of a war. This is called proxy war. Those who cannot fight a total war, full-fledged war, which say, let us say India, it is these people who always resort to proxy war through non-state actors and through terror organizations. So there are multiple number of mercenaries in the world who will fight for a country for money. Hamas is one such organization which is ready to fight for a set of people after taking over the political power and inflict injuries on innocent people and thereby sabotage the true cause of Palestine. So this is the situation that is existing today. So where do we go from here? There are two things that we should know. One, what is the impact of all these things on India? And two, what will happen to the present situation? So I'll come to the second thing first. The present situation, as I said, may continue for another 10 days, 15 days. It may even go for a month. But unlike the Russia-Ukraine conflict, it will not go on for 6 months or 1 year because for 6 months or 1 year, Hamas cannot exist. Hamas will go down like 9 pins in another maximum a week or 10 days. Beyond that, they cannot. They will go underground, they will run away, they will exist, try to regroup. But they will not exist in a way they have existed 10 days back. They will not be in a position to mount another attack anywhere in the world. Forget Israel. When Palestine was declared as a state, although Israel did not accept it, the Palestinian Authority was accepted by America. And then when Yasser Arafat declared the state of Palestine, Yasser Arafat was given state welcome by only one country in the world, and that was India. When he declared Palestine as a state, there was only one country in the world Not Saudi Arabia, not United Arab Emirates, not America, not Turkey, not Japan, not Russia, not China, not Pakistan, not Saudi Arabia, not Iran. The only country to recognize was the first country to recognize Palestine was India. So all those who talk in terms of Palestinian rights and other things, and who are advising Modi government what to do as far as Modi government should go back to read history quietly, peacefully for 2-3 days and then come back to talk. So I think what India has done is very correct. We have invested very, very heavily as far as Israel is concerned. We have got about 22 agreements, agricultural agreements, military agreements, strategic agreement, technology agreements, and we have got a number of agreements as far as Israel is concerned. We have nothing with Palestine. Palestine has nothing to offer us. Palestinian people have got nothing to offer. Israel has got everything to offer. As far as oil is concerned, yes, the Arab countries have got oil, Iran has got oil. So we have to deal with Iran and Arab countries also, which we are dealing in a very good way. And then we will have to build. We have in G20 summit, which was held recently last month, we declared a bridge between India and the European Union through Middle East. Yes, that project will suffer a little bit. There will be some teething problems as far as that project is concerned. But I think sooner or later, maybe after 10 days, 15 days, we'll take stock of the situation. And the project can start from both the ends, from the European end and the Indian end. And then somewhere in the Middle East, we can join the both ends and it can be a successful project as far as India and European Union via Middle East is concerned. So I think finally, we have got nothing to lose, but a lot of things to gain and a lot of lessons to learn.
I wanted to ask, you said that Iran will stop supporting. See, Iran is the only country which has spoken in favor of Hamas. And he has, the great leader of Iran has said that the boys planned it very well. The foreign minister also from Iran has spoken that, you have to stop, otherwise, we will take action. So all this is in favor of Hamas, they're speaking. Why will they stop supporting Hamas, let's say after 10 days or some few days? It's not clear.
Hamas should exist after 10 days, no? If it doesn't exist, what will they support? So it is very difficult. It will be a very difficult situation for Iran. See, Israel also does not want to get directly into a scuffle with Iran. And Iran also doesn't want to get into a direct fight with Israel. It will be a losing battle for Iran. And the world also doesn't want an Iran-Israel conflict like the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So Iran also is a very stable country. They have got very good strategists. They plan a lot. So they will not be foolish enough to go and take on Israel directly. So they need a via media, and that is what they have as far as Hamas is concerned. Now, this time I have a hunch. I'm just speaking on the theories that are going around the social media and whatever I could read. I have no inside information. I am not privy to any information. But this time, I think Israel, all political parties in Israel, even the leftists, there is a very strong leftist lobby within Israel, which people say is also equally responsible for the problem that Israel has got. So these political parties are determined on one thing. They want to finish Hamas once and for all. So that they will do. If they do this, Iran will find it very difficult to continue supporting Hamas. Even now, Iran has refused to give access to people from Gaza. They don't want people from Gaza to come to Iran because they think if you allow about 5,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh people from Gaza to come to Iran, it is quite possible some of the Hamas elements will also infiltrate and come to Iran. They don't want it. Again, Egypt has closed its borders. Why? They don't want the Hamas terrorists to infiltrate people and come to Egypt and create problems for Egypt. Because if tomorrow Israel finds out that some sleeper cell is active in Egypt, they will come and bombard that area and kill all those people. This kind of a situation nobody wants. Therefore, I feel a situation may come when Hamas will be more or less liquidated. Some of the leaders of Hamas will still thrive. They will live incognito. They will stay back. They will give up all their actions for a few days, months, or years. Then regroup probably. So that will be a new situation. that is the time when Iran may probably help or may not. Sorry.
So I also went through a bit of the history, and then I found that the name Palestine was given by Romans when they captured it in 2nd century Christ era CE. And so basically the land, what the Palestinians claim, neither the land nor the name of the land nor the culture of the land belongs to actually Palestine. I mean, that's my opinion actually. Okay, the present day so-called Palestinians, they don't own none of these three aspects. But anyhow, the world is broad enough to accept them and accept a two-nation theory and give land to them. I believe that they should have been respectful to the Jewish and accommodate them in a brotherly way. That should have been the approach they should have adopted. Unfortunately, as you rightly said, secretly Hamas has taken over and many things happen. I have an observation, sir, one thing. Regarding the economic aspect of this, Gaza Strip, I found that 75% of the money comes from donations from all over the world for the Palestinians. I mean, I was a bit surprised, like it is not self-sustaining. I mean, the economic model of Gaza Strip is not self-sustaining, is it?
See, two things. I'll answer your second question first. As far as Gaza Strip is concerned, it is not a state. It is not a country. It is like a municipal corporation. You can pour in as much money as you want for the municipal corporation. But tomorrow, if let us say, since our factory is in Vasai, I'll give you the example of Vasai. Suppose if some local Gunda in Dada takes over Vasai Municipal Corporation and declares it as an independent country and starts getting money from Pakistan, you think it will sustain? Is it possible?
But
the
anyway,
example of Vasai that I gave, now just juxtapose this Vasai into Gaza Strip. Gaza Strip is smaller than Vasai. So it cannot have its own economic programs. Nothing can be done. It is a municipal corporation. It is a glorified municipality. Nothing beyond it. The Gaza Strip is an illegally occupied area by people who claim to be Palestinians. We do not even know if all of them are Palestinians. That is a big problem as far as this area is concerned. There are a few lakh people there and we don't know about them. Nobody knows about them. So after the takeover of Hamas in 2007, Gaza Strip has become even more problematic. So it is for the people there to stand up, but they cannot do it. So it is, in a way, I'm saying, if Israel can liquidate Hamas, it will be good for the people in Gaza. At least they will know where they are and they can improve their situation. They can improve their livelihood. So this is what is going to happen probably after some time. A. B. As far as Palestine word is concerned, see, there are so many researchers about all these things. As far as my knowledge goes, there was no Palestine during the Roman Empire. Roman empires had different states, and one of the state was called Canaan, the state of Canaan. Now, the state of Canaan was ruled by an emperor who was a sun worshipper, and he was from what we call today as Syria. The old name of Syria is Suryani. Syrians call themselves Suryani. So they are Suryans. Okay. So there was no Palestine during the Roman Empire. There was no Palestine state as such during the Roman Empire, as far as my research goes. And the word Palestine itself is not a Roman word. It is not a Greek word. It is not a Roman word. The original word, as far as those people are concerned, they call themselves Philistini. Philistine is the name. Philistine. This word Philistine come. How can there be the word Palestine in Roman Empire? So this is when we draw knowledge from Google, we should go into the basic words also, and we should go into etymology of these words. When you go into the etymology of the word Palestine, it has no etymological roots. The word Philistine has an etymological root. I agree. But the present Palestine is not the historical Philistine. The historical Philistine, as far as Roman Empire is concerned, is called Canaan. 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 Once you read the book, you will know more about it.
Sorry, sir. Again, second question, I had a doubt. your comparison with municipality is a very apt one, but municipality happens to operate in a country. So the banking system of a country should be controlling what money comes into the municipality. Doesn't Israel have a FCRA kind of rule the way India has? That which money is being routed into Gaza municipality-based banks be controlled or stopped, etc., so that they won't get the money in first place. How is Gaza getting so much money if the controlling bank of that money is passing through Tel Aviv?
No, it doesn't pass through Tel Aviv. See, there are. It's only now that we are talking in terms of controlling terror funding, what we call the terror funding. But this terror funding does not depend on banks. It has so many other routes of coming, and Gaza has a sea opening in the sea, and Gaza borders Lebanon, and Gaza borders Egypt. Now, Lebanon and Egypt are not countries which are very happy with Israel. So, if somebody wants to enter Gaza Strip through Egypt, they can easily do it. Nothing can stop.
Okay, so it's all cash. Okay.
It's all cash, illegal money, and arms and ammunitions.